Again, we just want to say good morning to everyone. It's a beautiful Monday. I woke up this morning, my feet hit the ground, and I just said thank you. So grateful for life, so grateful for family, so grateful for friends, so grateful that who I have in my life is above ground and I can pick up the phone. They can call me, I can call them. My phone didn't ring with any bad news. So for me, starting today off, I am very grateful for that. And for those in their car, in their home, anywhere you may be in 96 plus countries, I love saying that. We just say
96 countries. That's
that's, I
amazing.
know. I just want to say welcome. And if you're listening to this after the fact, thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of Careology. Careology is a subsidiary of CareBag, and CareBag is a nonprofit here throughout the Treasure Coast and Palm Beach. And what we do it very well. We provide access to the unhoused and to families in crisis. And you may be saying, how do we do that? We do that through our mobile showers, and our mobile hygiene pantry. And
Mobile showers?
mobile
What is a
showers.
mobile shower, Roxy?
A mobile shower, for those who don't know, it is like a trailer that has been fabricated with two showers, hot water and AC, with a toilet, a shower, and a sink that can hold up to any capacity of 300 pounds. So anyone
Wow.
300 pounds or less can go in and have a nice hot AC shower with clean towels, new underwear, gently used clothes, and bringing dignity.
Amazing.
That's
Where
it.
where are we have 3 shower units
We
now?
have three shower units now. One is in Fort Pierce on Avenue A with the First Methodist Church of Fort Pierce. Then we have our second shower, which is in Vero at the Salvation Army in Vero, in conjunction with the First Methodist Church in Vero. And our third shower unit goes strategically to different places and organizations that are having events, or different churches that are facilitating something for our homeless or for our families that are in need.
Incredible. It is something we take for granted, having a nice hot
It
shower.
is.
And the board and CareBag got together and said, why not bring the shower to the places where people are congregating? And we
Hmm.
found some nonprofits and churches that are open to having these showers there. Is it making a
Wonderful.
difference for them?
You know what? It's making a difference in ways I don't think a lot of us really, really understand. We got up this morning and I turned on my water. And believe it or not, every time I turn on my shower water and I look at the water running, I just say, wow. We don't think of just, and then I'm looking at my soaps and I'm like, I have six, seven different soaps. And then I have six, seven different exfoliants, and
Exfoliants.
and I have a different brush, and I have a sponge, and I got a washcloth, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, wow, we take a shower,
Yeah,
so we take it incredibly just for
yeah.
granted. And just to be grateful to turn on, to walk out, to turn in. And I don't have anyone saying, what is your size? Do you need this? Just to be able to
Yeah.
take those things. You go in your toilet and you roll your toilet paper out. You don't think of, oh my goodness, my toilet paper is finished. You just take it and you
Take,
use it, and you don't you get your toothpaste. You
that's
don't
right.
worry about when it's finished, you run to your cabinet wherever you keep it under your sink, and you pull another one out and you open it, throw away the box. We don't think about when you go for toilet paper, I don't have any more. When
Yeah,
I do presentations, I bring an empty roll of toilet paper, and I put it on a
that's
table.
a great idea.
Yeah, and I go and I said, imagine if this was not available. Imagine if you needed it, but it just was not available. And everyone's eyes open up, because trust me, you might, if you don't have a washcloth, something, you'd find another way. You use Dove, or, you use Dawn, whatever. But without toilet paper, that is very crucial. And it opens up people's eyes and it makes them realize what we take for granted. And there are many, many families out there.
They're living in their cars,
They're living in their cars, they're living in
on their
woods,
neighbor's house, they're in the woods.
everywhere. I talked to one of my volunteers, Miss Patty, and she said a lady came and said, you know what, my tent is just, I don't even know how to describe it, because the rain has just
Oh,
saturated, and the sand. I don't
oh,
think people understand sand can come through anything.
it's amazing.
Sand is like a
It's always
cockroach. It just comes in through everything and in every orifices.
it's
And just,
magical how it does that. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah,
And just imagine trying to lay down and it's nothing but wet sand and grit. Now you got mosquitoes, you got the dirt, you're sweaty and you're hot because it's muggy, and we wake up from our bed in an air conditioned with a fan on, and you're just la la. We have so
Yeah.
much to be grateful.
Yes.
And if you have the means and the capability of saying, you know what, I can do something, CareBag would love. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, tax exempt, so you can claim this. Talk to your financial advisor. We do not give financial advice. That's my disclaimer. But we are a federal 501c3 tax exempt organization, and this is a write off for you. And this is, believe it or not, June, July, and August is our hardest time for CareBag because schools are out and the need of these families are so great, and we spend a lot and we don't have the means to replenish. So if you'd like to go ahead and write a check, go ahead and donate to us. Go to givecarebag.com. It will take you directly to our website, and you'll be able to go ahead and make a donation to us. And we would appreciate that because we need the funds. If you want to go ahead and donate items to us, please go ahead and do that. Toilet paper, deodorant, all of that is
Shampoo,
greatly shampoo. Anything you
soap.
used in your bathroom this morning is needed. Face wash, moisturizer. Everyone needs their skin moisturized. A lot of homeless individuals, unhoused individuals I talk to say they notice how their skin changes from nice and smooth to almost leathery
When they're out living on the street.
because the sun,
Yeah.
everything just dries their skin out. Lotion, moisturizer, that is something that is so needed for them. And if you want to go ahead and make an impact to someone, that is one of the best places you can do that. And you can go through CareBag to do that. And if you come and you say, you know what, Roxy, I want to go online, but I don't have the time, and blah, everyone has a whole lot of stuff they want to say. There's so many other ways that you can help. Go online, go to give care back give go to givecarebag.com. It will take you to our official website, and you go to donate, and there are many ways that you can go and participate, or you can text us and we have a link that we can go ahead and send you, and it's 772-222-7399. You can text, you can call, and someone is always there to pick up and answer your call. And giving, they always say teamwork is the dream work. Giving is the dream work because what you give goes out and it helps so many individuals. And we just want to say to those that support us, thank you. It's just a, you
Couldn't
know,
do it without the
we
donations.
couldn't do it without our
Impossible.
donations.
Impossible.
Impossible, very impossible. And now is a crucial time because it's summertime. So those parents that depended upon those meals at school, so a lot of kids go to school for breakfast. A lot of people don't know. A lot of kids go to school for breakfast. They get their lunch. They have the aftercare. They get their little snack there. Now they're home.
Right.
You're home. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, 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 snack. I don't realize how much they eat during the summer. I guess it's called the summer feeding frenzy because it's amazing how much these little kids can eat. You saw somebody wolf down some waffles yesterday, and she's 5.
But they're eating that during the year, but the
Yeah.
schools are providing that gap. They're
Yes.
filling the gap, and when they're not in school, so there is a gap there. But there's also a gap with the hygiene
Hmm.
and the where does the pantry van come in? How does the pantry van fit into the mission of Care Bag?
Well, our pantry van goes to, believe it or not, they used to come, everyone used to come to our office, and we shifted gears March of 2024. And our pantry van now goes to soup kitchens, goes to food pantries. If you go on our website and you go to access to hygiene, you will actually see our entire schedule of where we are and what and where we go. And you can go on there and you can go on there and see everything about Care Bag and our schedule, our shower schedule, our mobile hygiene pantry schedule, and the times we are there. So you're not only going to see the times, you're going to see the address. You go to the menu, and when you go to the menu tab, you go access to hygiene. And when you go access to hygiene, you will see our monthly mobile hygiene pantry schedule. So we are in the second week, the third week now of June. So the third Wednesday, this Wednesday from 5 to 6, we're going to be at Graceway Village in Hartman Road. The address is there. And then the third Saturday, which just passed, we were at the Community Methodist Church, and they do a breakfast and lunch. And the amount of people that are there to get hot meals, both places, Graceway Village and the Community United Methodist Church, these are hot meals that they give out. And it is so, so important when you see all of this. And then the fourth Wednesday now, we are at the New Zion Missionary Baptist Church in Petway in Hope Sound. And we're there early in the morning, and that is a drive through that you can go ahead and get your groceries, your fresh vegetables. And believe it or not, this is one of our high concentrated areas. And but that's where we go. If someone's going for food miles, hot food, food for their home, that's what
They probably could use a little
they
help
prop
with their
there
with
you go.
diapers, depends,
This
shampoo, soap,
this yeah,
all those things to
simple essentials.
keep them in the their hygiene levels at the
Yeah.
right at the comfortable level where they want to be have that dignity.
Yeah, and that's where we are. We're there providing that. So if someone wants to know where we are, go on and see our schedule. I say this every Monday. We do not come to anyone's home, anyone's residential home. That is, we get a lot of calls. You're mobile. Can you please come to my home? No, we cannot. And that is a liability, just to let anyone know. That's a big liability. It's keeping you safe. It's keeping us safe. So if you want to know where we are in St. Lucie County, transportation is free. So only thing you have to do is look on a schedule, make a time to come there, and you will get transportation. That's the good thing about living in our community. So you can get to the places that we are. And then if you want to know if you are unhoused and say, you know what, when can I go ahead and where can I get a shower? Go ahead on here and you will see our mobile shower schedule. And I invite you and implore you to go ahead and call the Salvation Army because they have a lot of other days that they do the shower units there. So you can get that information. They do change accordingly so you can get more information. So that's Care Bag in a little nutshell. And what we do, I see it's so important. The Since we've made this decision in March, we've had our numbers have just gone up. Just exponentially our numbers have just gone up with the people that are in need. And that's what we want to do. If we're low on something or if we run out of something, that's okay. We find a way to go ahead and replenish what we need. But we have a service that are needed in the community. And it makes you good when somebody comes up and they just get a chapstick and they're like, oh my God, we don't realize how important that is. I opened my car door when I was coming out to the station. I
Hmm.
have a chapstick in my front, there's a chapstick in the back for the baby. I'm like, and someone just wants one. So what we take for granted, it's so important, and we just want to let people know that all the little things you have, somebody's dying just for one. So if you can assist in any way, it would be a blessing.
What is the website again?
It is givecarebag.com and it will take you to our official website, which is carebagfl.org.
Nice.
That is our official website, carebagfl as in Florida.org. And you can get all our information there. And not only can you get our information, you can see our upcoming events. So we have a great upcoming event. This is our fourth annual back to school, and we're having it again at the Mid Florida Event Center. And I'm excited about this because we do this every year, and these are our clients. These are our clients that come out, and we have the city of Port St. Lucie on board. We want to thank the mayor and the council for getting on board with this. We have PBF Channel 25, they're on board. We thank them. Children's Services, Grows and Builders. We have Hearts Unfold. We have so many people
What happens
coming.
at that event, the back to school event?
Well, our
What's
back to school is back to school cuts. So cuts, CUTZ, is the acronym we use for getting haircuts. Children, young girls, young boys from the ages of 4 to 17, because that is back. Those are the children that are
right?
in school, and we go ahead and they get haircuts. We choose to do it on a Sunday because most barbers are available on a Sunday. And this is the week school starts. School starts Tuesday and Wednesday of the week. So every child that comes in is going to be able to have a first step up to look like everybody else. No one is going to know your story just because of the way you look. and everyone is going to be able to get backpack, sorry, a backpack filled with the needs they need for school. Thanks to Groza Builders and the Groza family, they donated over 300 brand new backpacks to us.
Amazing. Absolutely
And
amazing.
we have other
I love it. Back
backpacks.
to school with your new backpack.
That's it. And we have some sneakers that we can give out depending on the size that you are. We have some sneakers. Not everyone's gonna get a sneaker, but those that can will if it's your size. And we want to give these children. We have hot dogs, we have chips, we have water because it's gonna be hot. Last year we had a bounce house, but we're gonna not do the bounce house this year because the weather just has been too hot. We have to be, as organizations, we want kids to have fun, but we have to be mindful and we have to put precaution first.
I gotcha.
The weather has been too hot. These children bouncing. We want no child to. We don't want any ambulance to pull up. That's just straight
Oh,
up. I'm just gonna tell anyone.
we don't want that.
We don't want. We have a
Do
police
they
there.
do they need to register?
No, they do not need to
Just
register.
show up.
They just show up
And what
and
time? That's August 11th.
that is August 11th at 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. And it's been one of our greatest events at the Mid Florida Event Center. Lexus, we have Mission Barbecue, we have Two Men in the Truck. We have so many. Wax Unique. I can't sit here and talk about the businesses, but we need more. We want to do hot dogs for all the kids. We want to do chips. We want to do water. We want to make sure if you want to go ahead and collect book supplies, we have a list. We have a registration for volunteers that anyone could volunteer. It is on our social media site. It will be up on our website within the next 24 hours. And we just want to let everyone know there's so many ways that you can go ahead and contribute and to donate and to be a part. If you don't have the funds, but you have the time, come on out. We need volunteers. We have a lot of volunteers signing up. You can volunteer to set up. You can volunteer to break down. You can volunteer to be with the food. You can volunteer to be with the backpacks. You can volunteer to be with the barbers. You can volunteer to sit out. And we have a police officer, which is required, that sits in the corner because we always want safety when it comes to children. But we have volunteers there that just sit to make sure the mothers and the children's and everyone is okay. We have nice music playing by a DJ, and we have fun. We have fun for the kids. I want people to remember a lot of kids don't go anywhere for the summer. This is their only time they can actually enjoy themselves. So we want to make it a nice, safe event where they can have a good time. So if you have it in your heart that you want to be a part of this, please reach out to us. Go to our website, our phone number is there, our information is there. Reach out, and we'd love for you to be a part of this. We still are looking for sponsors to come on board because we want to make sure that right now we have put 350, the first 350 kids that are in need of a backpack that come, they get a backpack full of supplies. And we'd love to do more. We love to make sure everything is filled, and we cannot do this without community support. So if you're able and willing to, please reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you, and we promote your business and let everyone know, how much you're doing in the community. So that's what we can do.
That's what
So,
gives it. That fills a bag of with all that generosity. It's
oh,
filled in there
yes.
beyond the items that are filled in. There's just outpouring from these small businesses in the area that really care about what's happening in the community.
Yeah.
They have the heart that drives this whole operation. It's amazing, and they do it so generously. It's incredible. I've seen it happen at our galas where they just stand up and like write a check and they make it happen. It's absolutely amazing.
And it's important. I don't think people understand the level of the need that is in the community. We you see, everyone knows that there are children and families in need, and we have three sections. Well, we have four now in this generation. We have the ultra rich, we have the middle class, and we have the poor. And then I'm going to let you know, we're going to add one more. We have the very poor, the very needy. And those are the people that we are in touch with, that we are seeing. A book, a pencil has so much for a child and a family. So when we go out and we give items to families, we just don't give for the person. we give for the families. When we go into the school and we find that one child that is in need of something, it's just not the child, it is the family. So that's a big thing. But we wanted to go ahead and share that with you because we wanted to go into our show. So, what are we talking about today, Miles?
Well, one topic that has been a game changer for me is this topic of legacy and what legacy means and what we leave behind when we're not here anymore. So when we were together, when you came over the house yesterday, we're celebrating and having waffles together. We were talking about the show, and I said, "How about legacy?" And it means different things to different people. But for me, it's what are they going to say about me when I'm not here anymore? What
Yes.
impact did I have on my community? What impact did I have on the people in my family, the people I work with, the people I came in contact with? And a lot of times when we talk about goal setting, we talk about, what am I going to do in life, or determining what, my actions are going to be or where I'm going to go. When we think about it in terms of legacy, it helps helps us decide, is this the journey I'm going to take, yes or no? Does it fit
Yes.
with the legacy I want to leave? In other words, I'm about to make a choice, I'm about to do X, Y, or Z. Does it fit the legacy I want to leave behind? That's a kind of thought process I'm talking about. When I shared this with you, you shared an incredible story about your father and his legacy. About, he was a doctor and he was studying, the cure for lupus. And it was an amazing story about how one of his legacies was not only paying for medical school for people that he knew, but donating his body to science so they could, find a cure for lupus. In that story really was an amazing story.
And just like I was telling you, when I first learned about this, I wasn't happy. When my dad's memorial was actually on Father's Day yesterday. So that's how the conversation came up. We just don't talk about death all the time. And just when this happened for my dad, and I reached out to the facility, and something the lady said to me, she said, the legacy that my father left, my generation, my children's generation, my grandchildren's generation, their children, their grandchildren, so on and so on. She said, "You're going 100, 100 people in on your legacy." That is the impact that is going to make. So for those that don't know about lupus, lupus is a disease, and to find a cure for this disease, you have to use live organs, tissue of organs. And the only way to use tissue of organs is through the death of someone and a donation. And when my dad studying, doing the research of lupus, he knew this and he decided to do this. And he knew, we talk about everything, and he knew I would have a problem with this. And
That was the part that really
yeah,
amazed me.
he
So he knew you were going to have a problem
problem
with.
with this. So he never told me.
Right.
But he knew the person that I am, that I was going to call the facility and I was going to complain. And he had written a letter for me, that when I called, they already had a letter for me from him.
That part blew my mind. That
And
just blew my mind.
to go ahead and let me understand why he needed to do this. And when, from his letter and from what the lady of the administrator of the facility told me, I was like, what a legacy that my father is going to make. Whenever they say there is a cure, I am going to know my father, Lloyd Scott, was a part of this. And to me, that is a big thing. So that's where the conversation got into. What are we leaving as a legacy? So we
Right.
want to say to everyone, this is not a legacy, okay? Because we've had ACOC here, we've talked about leaving a legacy, when you're gone, but you can have a legacy that you leave while you are still alive. We want people to know that a legacy is not just because of through death. A legacy is, what are you doing in your life to enrich someone else? What do you have for us, Miles?
Well, I mean, legacy is different things. Like when
Yeah.
you talk about computers, there's legacy systems, systems that are old systems that people are using, or they're out of date. We talk about legal terms, legacy is a gift of property, it was a legacy. But what we're talking about here is, the impact and the influence that you have in your life. Everybody is leaving some type of impact in their life, in their daily activities, what they do. And we want to be in the moment, but we sometimes don't look far enough down the road to say, what is my behavior today? What is the impact that's going to have tomorrow?
Yeah.
And that's one of the beautiful things, with CareBag is if one person is in a bad state of mind and they were able to get that shower and they transform that, mindset to a maybe more positive mindset just because they got in a shower. They were able to get to a job interview or whatever it may be. It's just a small little example. What if you're driving down the road and you just take it a little bit slower and you're not rushing and you don't get into that accident and that chain of events doesn't occur? Or what if you decide, you know what, I've got a good income. I want to donate something to charity. I want to do something. I want to have an impact. I want to leave a legacy. That's kind of what I'm talking about. What are they going to say about you when you're not here? And does your behavior fit with what you want them to remember you by? Is, to me, the acid test of determining, should I go forward with this? Should I not go forward with this? Do I go out with my boys 2:30 a.m. at night and go for an extra round or not? Or do I get home to my family? Those are the kind of decisions that we make that can have lasting impact on so many different things, just because of one decision that we decided to make. Does it fit the legacy I want to leave behind?
They always say, my dad, so you're gonna be hearing me say my dad a lot, because one, while he was alive, he's made a very, very great impact in my life. And the one thing he said that I always found funny, we talked about death. In our family, we talked about death a lot because they wanted me to know, and me and my brother and the family to know, death is a part of life. A lot of people look as death as your last hurrah. That's it. You're done. But your death is something that happens. It's taxes and death. And a lot of people run away from taxes, but you can't run away from death. That's something that is going to come, and we don't know when it's going to come. But one thing he said to me that really stood out, you're not going to know what people say about you, and they're going to have a lot to say about you when you're gone. So what life, like you said, are you living? So the life you live today, the life we're living right now,
Exactly.
just like you said, Miles, what is that impact we're going to make, that when someone has to say something about you, what are they going to say?
Exactly.
Because that's the legacy. Sometimes it doesn't have to be something financial. It doesn't have to be donating a body, giving of self, giving of property. But like you said, what is that impact that you're making, that somebody, like you're at a light and the light turns green, and the minute you just sit on your horn the whole way, that's an impact you've made, if in someone's
It's a
life.
small thing,
That's
but
a small thing.
it has an effect.
It has an effect, because you don't know if that person saw a car whizzing through them in the front
Or
that
some
you can't
ladies
see.
or somebody's walking on a
Yeah.
walker that you couldn't
You can see.
Right.
There you go.
Or there's little ducklings going across the road. I've seen that happen before.
Or a turtle.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
Yeah.
This is Florida. We're on the
Right.
Treasure Coast. So we don't see, but that rushing, that sudden urge that we just have to go. Sometimes you have to just take that deep breath back.
Yeah.
And that deep breath back. And I think in the country and the climate that we're in right now, everyone is too much in a haste. We're in a haste. We don't think of the impact we make on others. We just want to just say whatever we want to say. We want to flip off everybody when we want to flip them off. And you don't know the day someone is having.
We can't know that. And we don't. It's how can you walk in someone's shoes? Sometimes you try to, but you don't know what message they got. You don't know what argument they just had. And you just wish them well on their journey. But I'm thinking that is huge and that is so important. But I'm in those quiet times when you're sitting there kind of planning, what is it that really is motivating you to leave something behind? And what is that? And I think we need to take time to do that. It's like you said, we're all going to be here a limited period of time. And at the end, what do we leave? And is my current life living up to what I want to leave behind? That's the question. It's like, am I leaving more trash, or am I leaving things a little cleaner than when I found it? That's the question. It's like one or the other. Like, where am I in that spectrum, and do I even care?
That's
Some
true.
people aren't even thinking about it. They're like, well,
No.
I'm just day to day, not thinking about the future. But that's your legacy. Then that is your legacy, right? That's your legacy of not even concerning yourself with it, right?
Some people, I like what you said. Everyone's not concerned. A lot of people think of legacy, what am I going to leave when I'm gone? But we're going to go to a break because we have some beautiful, beautiful people that leave a legacy here with Care Bag.
Oh, that's amazing.
But I want to give this one thought to everyone before you go. Are you carving your name on someone's heart, or are you just preparing to carve your name on your tombstone?
Wow.
That I'm gonna say it again because sometimes that goes over people's head. Are you carving your name on people's hearts, or are you just preparing your life to carve your name on your tombstone? That's a big difference. We're going to talk about that as soon as we come back with Careology with your host Roxy and co-host Miles, because Miles is in the house, so we have the greatest conversations ever. So we will be back after this from our fabulous sponsors. Thanks, Cliff. Why call Two Men in a Truck of the Treasure Coast? You want to move your business without moving a single meeting? You want it handled with no fuss. Lots of stuff, no time to move it? You need the pros that care. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck of the Treasure Coast. Family owned and operated franchise. Call 772-236-0827. 772-236-0827. Movers who care. Visit twomeninatrucktreasurecoast.com. If you could reimagine the way you buy a car, what would you do? Make it simple, make negotiations disappear, demand transparency, then experience amazing at your Treasure Coast Lexus dealer. Car Buying Simplified. Treasure Coast Lexus is a proud sponsor of Careology, caring and supporting for our community. Car Buying Simplified. Check out your Treasure Coast Lexus dealer. Create custom business signage that customers can't miss or resist. Let Design a Sign in Port St. Lucie help you get the job done right. Over 80 years combined experience. Get it right the first time. Call 772-337-4027 and tell them Roxy said to call. Remember, call 772-337-4020. Design a Sign in Port St. Lucie.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
We now return to Careology, the science of caring. And once again, here is your host, Roxy Brown and Miles McGrath.
Thank you,
Love
Cliff.
it, love it. Thanks, Cliff, and welcome back to Careology. I am Roxy,
I'm Miles McGrath.
and we are here. I am the CEO and founder of CareBag Incorporated, and Miles.
Have the privilege of being on the board of Carebag to see this tremendous growth and to see this vision come to fruition is amazing.
I know I was going through our strategic plan, and I realized we completed our strategic plan in 3.5 years, and it was a 5-year plan. And someone came to me and said, Roxy, what is your plan? And I said, I don't have a new plan because I am trying to perfect the plan that we have now.
I like
And
it.
they just looked at me. There's always, we have a lot of, I was talking to an organization. They said, we want you to apply for a grant, but it has to be something new. And I said, what I have is new because they're giving people new life, new dignity. But why go into something new when you need to perfect what you have? Because the worst thing is that it crumbles because you didn't spend time on it.
Well, I mean, if I think about the origin of,
Well,
of Carebag from
yes.
delivering sandwiches
In
in
the
the woods,
Yep, in our
you know,
vehicles.
and then not really having anything other than that, and to the dream of why don't we have mobile shower units, and to get to the first mobile shower unit. That was a huge,
Yeah.
huge thing.
Yeah,
and all the people that came behind. And I remember the meeting distinctly. I said, Roxy, you were just about to take delivery of the first one. I'm like, you're going to have the second one so quick. And within a few months, you already got the second one. And then we had
a gala.
we had a gala
on Saturday.
And was it when it was in January, right?
Yeah, it was January at the Cape Club. Yes.
And we
Brunch.
got up. It's like suddenly it just like I felt something in the room, and you're like, we would like to get a third one, and one of your key donors was like, we're going to make this happen. And I think you were searching online, then he found something.
No, they were searching
online, but the money, but they had to raise the money in the room right then. And within 2 weeks.
No, within 3 days.
But you didn't take delivery within 3 days, did you?
No, 3 days they found the shower. On the fourth day, I picked it up. It wasn't even a week.
So that is when things are in alignment.
Yes, I like that. Alignment.
Things happen. It's absolutely incredible.
Yes.
And that's why the legacy is so important. When you think about your legacy, now you can attract those things that you want to be in alignment with your legacy. That's the whole reason I bring this up. Is like, how do you align with what your path forward, and your path, what you're leaving behind, your wake is your legacy. Really, your wake behind you. If you're in a boat, anybody's been in a boat, you look behind the boat, you see that wake. That is your legacy.
Yeah. But you know what's funny? I love that you said that, because our third mobile shower unit, we got that just the alignment so fast that everyone that was at our gala, their name is on the back of our third mobile shower unit. That is their legacy.
Right.
That is their legacy.
Incredible.
And what I want to say, a legacy is not just leaving something for people, it's leaving something in people.
That's what you're talking about on the heart. That's what you're saying when you're saying etching it on the heart. You're saying you're leaving it inside of something.
Yes. Because, yes, we're going to go back to yes, my dad is gone. And this year is 13 years. And it's 12 years this year. But what he has left, I'm not talking about financially, what he's left in my mind, in my heart, the legacy that he's left in me. For me, I could not do what I am, be the woman I am. Care Bag, we talked about this. If my dad was here right now, Care Bag would be 10 times better than what it would be, because I know what he would instill in the advice that he'd give me. You see what I'm saying? But what I have been doing in my life and what I'm able to do has been because what he's put into me.
I love it.
And that is what we want to give to people. Yes, it is always, we have a lot of families, ultra rich, very rich, and they say, okay, my children are going to get this percentage. But then you have your children running wild. I'm going to be real, people. You have them just doing whatever they want to do because they can afford to do it. But what else are you doing to enrich their lives? Because somebody with money is a train off the train track.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, if they don't have the vision, you got to have the vision. You're going to have money and be totally focused and directed and make a huge impact. That's my point, is whether you have money or not, you need a vision, and that's part of your legacy. And if you don't have that, then you will be a train off the train track, and you will have a legacy, but it's going to be all over the place.
It's going to be one derailed.
Right, you'll get derailed. Right, so that's what you're talking about with your father. I think from everything you've shared with me yesterday and today, he had a vision for how he behaved in his life and what he saw and why he did it. He had a purpose for a mission. And we know when we meet people like that, when you meet somebody like that, you scratch your head and you're like, wow, how is this person so driven? Ask them and you'll find out. They have an idea of what they want to leave the world behind them. So that's what all of us can do that. It takes a little time to kind of cultivate that inside of you and kind of think about that. And then you share that with the people that are close to you.
Yeah.
And then you'll find out who's close, because if they're not close, they'll ridicule you and say, oh, that's not possible.
It won't
you
line
can't
up.
do that. And then some people, your true friends, your true family will say, man, that is amazing. How can I help you? Where can I go? They'll point you in the right direction. Then you know who's on your team.
Yeah, and it's important. You need to remember your legacy is being written every day. every day you get up, every day you're in communication with someone, every day that you have a conversation with someone, a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, you're leaving an imprint. That's that, just the way we leave global imprints for the
Yes.
earth, we're leaving an imprint in the lives of someone. It's either going to be a positive or a negative. So you have to ask yourself, what imprint are you leaving? I had someone, that young girl, she was in her early 40s. She was in the hospital and she passed away. And she left a husband and two young boys.
When was this, Roxy?
This was when did I come back from jail? This was March, June, February, March this year.
Right.
And it's funny because in her obituary they had on their care bag, and they asked everyone to get up and speak. And no one gets up. Everyone's afraid. This is a funeral, but I had to get up because in the program, in her obituary, you had the word care bag. She was a volunteer and loved care bag. And that was part of her legacy. This is not about what she left. She didn't leave care bag anything, but what she did leave.
She volunteered for the
The
time, yeah.
volunteering, the love, and how she shared it. Her husband said everywhere she went, she talked about it.
Oh,
That's
my
the
goodness.
legacy that she left. And let me tell you something. The smile that she left when you met this person.
What was
the
her name?
I don't want to say that.
You don't want to say that?
No,
Okay,
I don't
okay,
wanna say
okay,
that.
okay.
The smile that she left, because it's still new.
I
It's
got
just
you. I
been a
got. I
couple
got you.
months.
I got you. I got you.
And the smile that she left. And I remember we flew in, and we came back. I was out of the country, and I brought my husband with me, and just and the group that she belonged to was local here, and the women that were there here on the Treasure Coast. The one thing you see, Rhonda, I'll just say it, Rhonda. When Rhonda came in, the first thing you see is just her smile, her big, big smile. And, and anywhere you went, that she lit up a room. So that legacy that we're talking about is just not for after you're gone. It's what you're doing.
Yes.
It's that footprint, that positive footprint,
footprint.
that you're leaving. That it was good for her boys and her husband to hear us say these things. Because remember, your loved ones aren't around you all day long. They don't know the footprints you're leaving. They don't know where you go. They don't know the impact on the lives that you're making with others. And sometimes it's sad that they hear it at the end. But
Yes.
it was a big thing. We lost her very young, but that impact, that smile, that she came in a room and she lit up a room with her smile. Just a beautiful smile. And and that's something we always want to remember. But going there, because I didn't expect that, and they knew I was not here, and they knew I wasn't going to be here. But I made it a point of coming back early and coming. We just landed that night, and we went to the funeral that morning. And
Amazing.
I dragged my husband with me.
Dragged.
I sure did. And
Were you happy you went?
he was very happy he went. And to see, and I have it actually in our office. I took a program and we have it in our office because I took it as a moment of pride. I took it of a moment as pride that the family knew she talked about Care Bag. And that is it. What are you leaving in your day-to-day life? You might not have anything to leave anyone. Some people think, oh, I don't have any money, I don't have anything. But people don't understand.
Maybe
It's
all
more
someone
than that.
needs is a hug.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
what-
all they need is just a little hug,
Yeah.
like you said, or a smile,
or a waffle
or
or a good waffle,
a good waffle.
So we're gonna make this personal.
I love it.
We go to Miles' house, Miles and his beautiful wife Heidi, and just the home, the ambiance, everything. And we have a thing. I've had a thing about their waffles. My grandbaby now has tasted it. She has a thing about the waffles. She woke up at the crack of dawn at 7 a.m. on
She
a
said she
Sunday.
wanted-
Are we ready to go to Uncle Miles for the
Oh,
waffle?
my God.
I'm like, I don't think they'll appreciate us showing up this early.
fine with me.
But we went, and this is where your legacy comes in, the impact, the imprint you make on someone's life. It doesn't have to always be money, just your time that you take time to spend with someone. When someone does something for you, the appreciation
Yeah.
of saying thank you and meaning it.
Yeah.
It's not just saying thank you. It's that appreciation of saying thank you and meaning it. That's very, very important. We want you to remember, just please think about the legacy because you're writing it every day. You're writing it every day.
Yep.
And that is very, very important. And the greatest legacy that you can pass on to your children, grandchildren, is not money or material things, but is what you accumulated in your life and life experiences.
Yeah, you
That's it.
mentioned the waffles. All that came from, uh, my grandmother and my mom, and some of my friends, like my friend Greg, his mom. Their love language, one way of demonstrating their love was through food.
Oh, yes.
And so I came up with this idea to do a cooking show years ago called Made with Love. And it all came out of that. That was how they showed they loved you. It was like they
Food,
made all this
yes.
food. And so that's, part of that was their legacy to me, is that when you're making a dish for somebody,
It's made
you
with
put your
love.
love into that. And sometimes it doesn't come out the way you think,
That's
or
when you can't
doesn't
cook.
go, but it comes out. Maybe it doesn't look that nice, but you put your love into it,
yeah.
and that's the legacy. And you can do that with everything you do. Put your love into it, and if you can't put your love into it, that might be time to reevaluate
What you're doing.
what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, and that's again, there's a huge difference when you're working from the heart.
Yeah.
And you talked about writing on the heart versus, oh, I have to do this.
Yes.
You're obligated. The energy is so low. But when
Yeah.
you say to yourself, I'm going to put my heart into it,
It makes
I'm
a
going to do it with my love. It's like
difference.
this show. This show is from the heart. I mean, what you're doing for the community is from the heart. And that's when you get up and you do things, you're like, man, I don't want to pick up that trailer. It's a hot day.
Oh, yeah.
I don't feel like driving to Palm Beach. We've gone down there to do some volunteer events, and it's
Yeah.
been like 95 degrees. But you get there and you set up the trailer and you set up the shower, and there's 10 people waiting in line to get a shower, and they are so grateful. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
that's why we
That's
do
why
it.
we
That's
did
why the
it.
love is
Yep.
there. That's why. And sometimes we need reminders too.
We do, yeah. We're,
It's
we're so complacent in our life and so comfortable that we just forget. Oh, sometimes you got to have that little
And you're like,
shake up.
whoa.
Yeah, you need that, that little shake up. So I have some nuggets here, and I want to share this one
Please,
nugget because I
please.
just forgot. Look at the time. It's
It's
almost
amazing.
time.
It's amazing.
The great use of life is to spend it for something that will outlast it. So I'm going to read it again for those that didn't quite get it. The great use of life is to spend it for something that will outlast it. So you said food for me is, I love food. When you're sick, you're in the hospital, you're
Right.
sick and you come home, the first thing people say, can I bring you something to eat?
Right.
Are you okay?
Right.
It's your birthday. The first thing they do is there a cake?
Right.
Or we're going to spend time together. It's a waffle.
Right.
Or let's go out to eat, celebrating. Food is always around that, to spend that time. So that's that love language. But just imagine we're going to break it down. The great use of life, which is the life we're doing now, is to spend it for something that will outlast it. The greatest thing that will outlast anything is love and friendship. It doesn't matter where you are, who you are, whether you're with us or whether you're gone or whether you moved away. When you love somebody and when they have that little corner piece of your heart, you just remember them.
Yeah.
That's a legacy there. You don't forget them, whether they're here or not. I remember my dad in everything that you do, and I'm sure you remember your mom and everything that you do. That's your love language of your waffle.
Yeah.
And it's just, we remember these things. So that's something we want to just leave. This show was important. It came up in a conversation around the table with food, and we wanted to share that with you. And is there any last thing that you wanted to say?
I just want to say to Cliff, thank you, Cliff, for being here. Thank you for running the show and the station. You are amazing. If you guys didn't know, Cliff's been through some things, but he's back in action better than ever, and we're just grateful for you and your legacy of communications with the Treasure Coast
That
over
gives
the
me
years.
something to be grateful to.
There you go.